Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Mothers Teach. My name is Simone, and on my channel, you can find various topics involving motherhood or homeschooling. And so in today's video, we're going to be discussing your birthing rights as a woman, okay? And I have a special guest by the name of Taylor Smith, who will be going over those birthing rights. Taylor is a doula, and she is a doula out of the state of Connecticut. And just to give a little bit about her background, she is a doula, and she is a certified licensed counselor, lactation counselor, I'm sorry. And she has a lot of background with, giving support and just supporting the community and doing for others. Okay, she has her own personal story of why she became a doula, and you can check that out in the video that was released right before this. And that was pretty much 20 questions, or really 19 because we were supposed to get to this one. 19 questions about a doula and why is a doula important and the services that they provide. So let's go ahead and get started on our topic, because my viewers do not like long, drawn-out introductions. And so we're going to get right into Taylor's presentation on the birthing rights for women.
Yeah, so thanks again for just having me. And we're going to dive right in. A lot of times when we are going into the hospital settings and things of that nature to have our babies, we aren't aware that we actually have rights that are protected. And I want to make sure that today we kind of mitigate some of that. I want you to go into labor and delivery knowing what your rights are and what it looks like when a violation occurs. So the first right that I want to cover today is the right to decide. So you have the right to decide how, where, and with whom you give birth. You may choose who is in the room and what you do during labor. We talked about being shifted unnecessarily and improperly, right? And that's including but not limited to walking around, eating and drinking, positioning yourself, however you feel comfortable, right? Now, facilities do have their own policies, so it's very important that you be familiar with them and be intentional about where you choose to birth, because as you can see, your rights can very well be limited by facilities' policies. If you choose to birth in those spaces, you are choosing to abide by what policies they have. So if they say you can't eat or drink, even though that's a right for you, you agreed to abide by their policies, so now you won't be able to eat or drink. So again, keep those types of things in mind. Be intentional about where you're deciding to birth. Be intentional about seeking out the policies for these places so that you have an understanding of what you're actually signing up for as well.
Right.
The next right is informed consent. You have the right to make an informed consent, right? Your provider must explain to you the risks, the benefits, the alternatives for all medical procedures. If you are not aware, you don't understand, or do not agree, the provider may not perform a procedure on you. And no one can legally do anything to your body or your baby without your consent. You also have the right to refuse. You can refuse surgery or medical procedures, and that's before the procedure begins, or even if you previously gave consent for that procedure. You can always change your mind or say no to any procedure, test, or drug, even if it's life-saving. You don't have to give a reason. And you don't have to sign a form to make it official. You can straight up refuse. That is one of your rights.
Wow.
You also have the right to treatment. So you have the right to receive treatment when you're in labor or experiencing a medical emergency in the U.S. under federal law. It requires most hospitals to admit and treat people who arrive in active labor or are experiencing any kind of medical emergency. under this protection, you cannot be turned away because they've never seen you before. You don't have any sort of rapport with them, or because of a disagreement that you may have had with your provider, or because you cannot pay. Now, that doesn't mean that the debt goes away or anything like that, like you won't owe them afterwards. But if you are not in a position to pay them for the services that you need, and you are experiencing a medical emergency, you still are able to get treated to the point of being stable.
Okay.
And I wanted to, again, just make sure you guys are aware of those things, because it's very important. When you don't know, you can be taken advantage of. I'll say it like that. And when you are aware, you can say, actually, that's not cool, and pull their bluff sometimes, and it could really change outcomes. We talked about fatalities in our previous video, and again, it could be the difference between saving a life or having someone die. So know your rights, understand what these mean, look up the policies of wherever or whoever is going to be involved in your birth and your labor and your delivery or your care in general, and really make sure that you're setting your intentions and knowing what you're signing up for.
Yeah. And then as far as birthing rights, is there anywhere where someone can just have access to that, like a website or anything like that, or is it
actually really hard to find that information? I would say that you would have to, again, be familiar with your state specific laws, and again, get super familiar with the policies of the people and places who are going to be involved with your labor and delivery and your care, but you kind of gotta tough it out, or have a doula or some sort of support who can kind of help you navigate those settings, who is well versed in those things.
Right. Wow. Well, I thank you so much, Taylor, for all this good information, because it's surprising how many women don't know about all of this. They feel like they're stuck in one situation, and people, there's already this stereotype behind doctors. The white coat is so scary, and they have the authority over you and your care, and that's just not. They're just supposed to be your guide. Just someone that kind of pushes you along, but not throw you over. And because you do this, we can't do this, or know. So you do have your rights as a person, a living being.
Yes. And we're going to exercise them, because that's what they're here for.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Taylor, for all this good information. And if you guys would love for us to collab again on topics like this, feel free to go ahead and leave us comments down below with any questions or another topic that you would like for us to cover. As well as I will leave Taylor's information as far as her name and email, so you guys can go ahead and contact her, because like we said before, she is a doula. Yes. And so let's go ahead and, let's start educating our community, people. Share this. Sorry, guys. AirPods just flying out.
Yes.
But share this information, and, just make sure that anyone who needs this, pregnant for the first time, or this is your second or third time, it does not matter how many births you've had. Things have changed, and it's, every day you should be wanting to learn something new. And if you have, known this already, this is good to know. So thank you so much, Taylor, for all your help and all your time.
It's been a pleasure. Y'all have a great one.
All right. Till next time, guys. And don't forget, hit the like, subscribe, and share the video.